So far, the summer box office has been kind of a wash. There's been a lot of misfires, a lot of movies that had a lot of potential that underperformed. But let's just see how this is going. These are the 5 movies that I think have a good chance of bucking that trend of a disappointing summer season. Now, the first is Inside Out 2. Now, this is a movie, and it's just coming out in a couple weeks. That it is one that I think that the first Inside Out is one of my favorites. I think it's like a top 3 Pixar movie for me. It's incredible. It's wonderful. The way that they are approaching this story makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of reasons why I think this movie could be big. And I think you're going to see some families and a lot of, people that grew up with the first Inside Out really flocking to this. Also, you're bringing back Amy Poehler and you're bringing back Phyllis Smith. I think there is a lot of potential. Now, what am I worried about here? One, we've still got a lot of anti-Disney sentiment for a lot of different reasons, and I'm not going to go into that here. Perhaps that's another video. But also, people have become adjusted to watching Pixar movies on Disney Plus, and I think that's going to hurt it. Third, and we're going to get to that when we get to another title here in the thing, there's another big family movie that I get the impression that families are going to flock to more than they are this one. But it is one that I'm very excited about, and I think if Pixar can hit that note, and in the next couple weeks, if they can market it right. Now, I know for me, the marketing has worked, but the marketing for Furiosa worked, and nobody else liked it. So, we'll see. But it's just going to be a couple weeks that we're going to find out. Now, let's move on to the next. Next up is Bad Boys Ride or Die. Now, this is a movie that I considered not even putting on this list, because I didn't know how well it would do. But when I was on Box Office Pro, it's already projected for over 50 million. I'm seeing some places even saying this could go 75, 80 million opening weekend. And I liked Bad Boys for Life, and obviously the original Bad Boys and Bad Boys 2 are classics. I think the Will Smith, Martin Lawrence duo is gold. There's just a lot of things I feel like going against it. The most importantly is that Oscars slapped elephant in the room. It's a question of, will audiences forgive Will Smith enough to come out to this movie? Obviously, those early projections have it beating Furiosa, it has it beating If, it has it beating a lot of these main movies that didn't perform to expectations. But we'll see. I mean, it's all a question of, are audiences ready to move on? And I think that as those big action movies like Fall Guy and Furiosa fall out of theaters, this is going to hit right around the right time. So this is going to be one of the big questions. So next up, I have Despicable Me 4. Now, I actually think that this has a potential to be the second biggest film of the year. I think this is going to fall just under another one we're coming next, and I think it's the one you all know is coming. And because here's the thing, is that yes, the terminally online, the people like me, we've kind of moved on from the Despicable Me franchise and the Minions. Like, we're kind of over the whole shtick of them, but do not underestimate, families freaking love this franchise. Kids flock to that. When I go to Universal Studios, those Minion rides are always lines out the door. So families love this series, and I think that they're going to flock to this. I've even said in this post, families are going to flock to this a lot more than they're going to for Inside Out even. I think this movie has the potential to be a $700, $800, $900 million movie. The Rise of Gru, which released in theaters and on Peacock at the same time, still managed to make $940 million. So I think that anybody counting this out, thinking that Despicable Me and Minion fatigue is here and all of that, I think we're far underestimating that. I think there's still a chance that families have moved on, or you're going to see people wait for Peacock. But again, I would not underestimate this. Like, this is on the back burner for me to watch. Like, this might not even be an opening day thing for me, but we'll see, because I think that this has the potential to be a giant release. So next up, this is one that I also considered, is this movie going to be really big? And I think there is a lot going against it. But Fede Alvarez has proven himself to be one of the best directors in horror. And I think that a return to the horror franchise is just what fans of the Alien franchise have been looking for. And especially coming off of Prey a couple years ago, I think there is a little bit more interest in Alien than we had before. And all the stuff I've heard from the trailers and stuff, people online are loving the trailer. They're loving everything they heard. So I think those are in. It's just one, your general audiences, are they going to show up to this? I think your hard R, ultra violent, that's where the concern comes in. You know, it's going to be a very violent, a very graphic, bloody, in Fede Alvarez's style. I feel like if anything's going to run into those same roadblocks that like Furiosa did, it's going to be this. I think you're going to see a lot of people kind of hesitant to go back to that. Plus, it's coming off the heels of Alien Covenant, which was not a good film in almost any regards. I know some fans of that, and fair enough to them. I wasn't one of them. But there's a lot going for it, and there's also a lot going against it. So this is a movie that I think is either going to be this surprise hit, or it could just crash and burn. I don't know for certain. And finally, y'all knew it was coming. It's Deadpool and Wolverine. This is going to be the biggest movie of the year. I project this is going to blow past the $1 billion mark. If I had to make a guess right now, and I'm terrible at guessing, I think it's going to rest somewhere around the 1.5, $1.7 billion mark. I don't think it's going to hit $2 billion. But it's going to be a massive success. It's going to blow every other movie out of the water this year. And it's going to have a giant opening weekend. I think after that, it's just going to be dependent on how good is the movie. Because I'm going to be honest, I have a little bit of concern because all I have heard about this movie is cameos, Easter eggs, throwing in this reference, throwing in that reference. I still don't even know what this movie's about. So that kind of worries me a little bit, and I feel like if it's just this cameo porn and this parade of things you liked 20 years ago, it's gonna get old quickly, and not to mention, in this kind of a generation, people aren't gonna go back to the movie theaters to see that multiple times. They're gonna watch it once, love it, and then they're gonna watch everyone recording it on TikTok, which I hate. That's another video for another day. And they're gonna watch all the big, like, cameos and audience reaction videos. And that worries me. Now, do I still think this movie is going to be good? Yes. Do I still have high expectations for this movie? Yes. Do I still think they can pull this off? Absolutely. I am not super negative. I am just saying I have some concerns at this moment. But overall, this is the movie that will save the summer of anything. Now, granted, movie theaters need more than just Deadpool. They need more than one big summer movie. They needed, like last year, it took them like 4 or 5 movies before they were finally profitable. So here's saying, with a lot of people waiting for streaming, you also have, the thing is, movies aren't just competing with themselves anymore. They're competing with television shows, which, like, in the next couple weeks, we have, like, 4 major series returning. And then you've got other big video games coming out this summer. We've got, events, and we've got, a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of the big content creators, now that it's summer, they're uploading their big stuff. So there's a lot for movies to compete with now. Here's to seeing how it works out, and I hope it does, because I love the movie theater industry, and I just like watching movies. These are all movies I'm excited for. If there's any I missed, go ahead and leave those in the comments below. Go ahead and like and subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow for another video.